Welcome to the Endless Honeymoon Podcast.
Redwood edition.
We're in the woods.
We have escaped to the woods.
I'm already over it.
How long have we been here?
A month.
We've been here a month due to the strange scheduling of this podcast. You may have thought we were still at home. But no, we've been in the woods for a month. You don't like it?
Well, I just found out that there's a mountain lion on the street. And so now, you know.
That was a low point, I guess.
When I'm on vacation, or at least trying to, quote, get away, I don't want to also be like protecting my child and 3 dogs from a monster.
We did find out from a neighbor that there is what she described as a bold mountain lion.
Who just comes right up to your door. It ate her cat and her dog. And here's the most important thing.
Her pussy.
No, this is the most important thing why I'm really scared is because the second night we were here, I heard this loud banging on the door. I woke up. I told Moshe, and he was like, "Oh, you're crazy." And then he heard it 3 times. And then my
I heard
friend,
it once.
my friend who talked to the mountain lion lady, she said that's what they do. They do like a, I can't do it. It's like a,
yeah, we know what
with their stick.
You don't have to.
I
punch
know,
the
but I'm
RV.
just saying.
Everybody knows what a knock is.
It's like
Wait, with their stick, did you say?
Or with, sometimes they like, with a stick, they're going to.
No, but mountain lions don't have sticks that they bang on
His
walls
cane?
with.
I don't know what he's walking around with.
His cane?
I'm kidding, but I
You
mean.
think he has a top hat and a monocle?
Now even that I wouldn't like, but it does sound better.
It sounds like more sophisticated.
But I think that was what that was.
It could be.
Moshe's like, oh, that could have been, you have no proof it was the mountain lion. Well, who was it? We're in the woods. If it was a person, I guess I'm more scared.
It could have been a stick. It could have been anything.
Stick?
Yeah, the wind.
It was, okay. Well, that was a low point.
Well, what about the high points? We are on my ancestral land. We're surrounded by redwoods in a thick, verdant, nearly a rainforest.
We're also surrounded by children.
Yeah, there's like 5 kids here.
A lot of kids. A lot of questions from kids.
One thing
I've been doing some really good meditation whenever a 9-year-old starts talking to me.
What's your meditation like?
I just start repeating like a mantra, like Om, or Ram. Like I just want it to end so that, and they don't care that they're not listening. They're just like talking at you a lot of times.
Can I ask you a question?
My child included.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Would you rather have a 45-minute conversation with a 9-year-old or get mauled by a mountain lion and drug up to a hilltop lair?
I would rather talk to the 9-year-old. But what is with them? Like they don't know anything and they always want to talk about the little that they know.
Yeah, that is a good point. I think when you're that young, it's not really about...
They're like, did you know the dog just touched me? And then when I touched her, her tongue came out and then her tongue went back in. And then did you know that the dog has brown hair? The white dog is growing brown hair, but maybe there was coffee that was spilled on it. But then, I mean, it'll go on until you shut the door.
That's why I like mountain lions. They just knock twice and then eat you alive.
No, we're surrounded by kids, but it's really great for our kid. I'm so glad that we were able to pod with another family, come to the woods, live commune style. We don't have a dryer, so there's like a constant like wet laundry hanging all around us.
I'll tell you what, to the
aesthetically is a little challenging.
To the people that think I'm a cucked out soy boy, you should have seen me the last few weeks.
Moshe's on a rampage.
On a tear,
I would say your energy right now around home improvements is psychotic.
I would say your energy right now around our romantic relationship is toxic. You've been
going crazy though.
I've stained a deck. I've dug a ditch. I've caulked a shower.
Now he's using an X-Acto knife to like
I'm
put
doing some carpeting
work down, and then he's like, "Kids, move!" And then all of a sudden there's like X-Acto knife, like danger.
I used Bondo to paint some dings out in my RV.
You helped make a shower.
I caulked an indoor shower. I helped make an outdoor shower.
You helped make a compost.
Yep. And what have you done, by the way? What are some of the manual labor chores that you've done while we've been up here?
Well, I've been giving a lot of aesthetic advice about where things should go.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's helpful. How big the shower should be.
What else?
Well, I've been watching our daughter and 3 other kids.
What else?
I've been doing a lot of things.
No, what are some of the chores, like the manual labor kind of things that you've helped
I'm not
with?
doing manual labor on your property.
No, Natasha has built herself like a Cleopatra like bed on fuzzy moss that she's collected around the forest, and she'll have two of the guys or two of the kids lift her up on it, and she'll come and kind of observe the work, and she'll fan flies away with a royal fly swatter that she made.
I'm just saying, but there's been some very positive things, apart from now that we're afraid to go outside. I think that it's been really great in terms of wastefulness. Like, I'm really learning about wastefulness. We have a compost. There's actually one of the most unique things about this property is that there's nowhere to put the garbage.
That is one of the unique facets of this place.
Every day when you have garbage or whenever it fills up with 8 people, it really fills up. And
it's a private road, so they don't have trash service.
I understand that. So we've been having to drive our garbage daily, and then not only drive it, but then try to find a covert place to dump it, because you're not supposed to dump your trash. So it's a weird catch-22.
It's not really a catch-22. It's you guys are committing a crime.
Well, you can also drive 40 minutes to the dumpster, but
the dump.
To the dump, yes. But here's the thing. I've been finding it, and then there's a wood stove, and so like a lot of any paper that we have, we've been putting in the wood stove and burning, so that's keeping us warm, so that's cool. And then any food scraps that we have that are like fruits and vegetables, we put in the compost.
Now, how do we get a compost thing going?
I bought it.
And then how did it get put into the ground?
Well, you guys put it in, but I shelled out the money for it. It was like $300. I contribute. So anyway.
What are some of the other positives?
Well, I wanted to keep talking about how cool it is.
Wastefulness? I'm sorry.
How cool it is to just learn what, I feel like in LA we're just it's so easy to have such a wasteful life.
Yeah.
So much waste.
Well,
and you don't even have to think about it.
I've been feeling like in LA, I felt like my trash amount of disposable stuff was kind of non-negotiable. I was like, oh, this is just how much trash I make.
Right.
And being up here has definitely made me shift. Like, oh, I could actually generate like a third less trash with a little teeny bit of focus and effort. Like the compost, like the what you're saying about burning the trash,
and then recyclables, we can definitely put those in town. So anything
we'd never heard of recycling until we got up here.
No, but I mean it helps on the trash dump.
Yeah.
But I just think it's kind of fascinating, and I hope that when we go back, we can be so much more mindful about how much trash we're producing.
Another thing that I'm going to take back with me when we get back to LA.
Yeah.
I made a friend out here, and I think that's going to be a friendship that I'm going to keep with me in the big city.
Who?
Oh, his name is Mordecai Mountain Lion, and he's coming home with us, honey.
Oh my God.
The mountain lion always knocks twice.
I mean, the whole point of me coming here was so that my kid wouldn't watch TV, and now I'm so afraid of the mountain lion, I keep trying to lure her from outside to come inside and watch something.
Oh, now you're trying to get her all back on the screens?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Well, it's been a success then, because then we can get back to LA and you can guilt-free put her in front of the screen. I mean, what's the likelihood of getting eaten by a mountain lion? I guarantee. Here's some.
She's 2.
Here's some. What does that mean?
I'm saying she's small. She's definitely like she's not registering to the lion as an adult.
Here's what I will guarantee. You think the lion is like?
Yeah, I think they stay away from humans in general, but not kids.
Here's the based on what? What's that based on?
Googling.
They said they eat kids?
No, but they say every article says protect your small children and animals, and our neighbor's cat and dog just got eaten.
Here's what I think. I think in LA and in a big city, our kid is about 1,000,000,000% more likely to get hurt in a car accident than to get mauled by a mountain lion up here. Do you agree or disagree?
I don't know. I don't know the statistics, but if anyone has any advice on fear, I'd really like to handle mine a little bit better, because I hate being afraid of my surroundings.
And if anybody has any tips on trapping and capturing and killing a mountain lion, I have the camouflage, but I don't know. I was thinking it might be kind of fun to dig a gigantic hole, right? Cover it with like palm leaves, and then and then there'll be a branch going over the hole, and from that I'll put like a pot roast I'll tie up a pot roast and dangle it over the hole. So the mountain lion, he's walking along, he's adjusting his monocle and stuff. He's twirling his cane like Mr. Bojangles, and he comes and he's like, "Oh my God, a pot roast! I fucking love pot roast." And then he goes and leaps to grab the pot roast, and then he falls into the hole where he's then trapped at the bottom. I cover it with bamboo slats. I then put up billboards in the surrounding community. Come see the mountain lion. We become a tourist destination. And then we both get COVID-19 from one of the customers. We both die from that, but our daughter survives and she gets all the profit from the mountain lion business.
You laugh, but I just read an article. I'm reading this book about the end of Los Angeles, and there's a country, I need to find out where this was, but they had so many earthquakes that they just let the fallen city become like a tourist attraction with a roller coaster through the earthquake, through the ruins, so that now their city, like, tourism is up because people want to come.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Let's do some disaster capitalism. But before we get to that, I don't know, Tosh, what do you think? Do you think we should take a call?
Yeah, why not?
Or should we talk more about the woods? We've done so much here. It's so beautiful here. I mean, yes, life in the woods is more rugged. There are more challenges for sure. But also, there's about 200 cases of COVID-19 in the entire county. And the county is, about 1,000 square miles or something. I think there's 4 cases in the town that we're in. And we're living the life. We go to the beach.
There's definitely more mountain lions than COVID cases.
That's right. We go to the beach for sunset. And the beaches are like private beaches because we're so far north. There's nobody out there. I've been surfing every day. We've been going on walks. We've been doing, I don't know, something about doing this manual labor. Like, I've been doing nothing but manual labor since I've been here, but I feel like I've been on 5 vacations.
Really?
I feel more alive than ever.
So this manual labor that you're doing is actually giving you energy?
Yeah, I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling in touch with my grandfather's name was Dick, and he built this place, and he was a man's man, the non-Jewish side of the family, and as Natasha said today, I got big dick energy. I'm feeling the ghost of my grandfather when I'm up here. It feels good to get something done. But anyway.
Well, I'm glad that you're feeling energized by it. I was, until I got word of the wild animals that are surrounding me.
Well, let's see if we can't help people with their emotional wild animals.
Okay.
We've got a call coming up now from the woods. We're going to call Simone in Portland, Oregon.
Hi, Simone.
Hi, Moshe. Hi, Natasha.
For the first time, we are looking on video at one of our callers, and I gotta say, I didn't know that our callers were so beautiful.
It does add an extra element of like, shit, now I have to say all this stuff and people can see me.
I feel the same pressure.
Oh, that's a good point.
You know what? I feel the same pressure.
Maybe we'll never do it again.
Or maybe you could also turn your video off right now, and we could pretend that you weren't on video. It's really up to you.
Let's try it. And
okay, let's try it,
Let's
Simone.
try it.
Simone, what's happening? How are you? How can we help?
Okay. I need your advice because I'm single for about a year now. And basically the way that I'm dating, I can't tell whether I'm like a douchebag and super emotionally unavailable or if I'm a love addict. To be honest, I wanted to call in because I was like, I'm a douchebag. I feel like classic fuck boy. But then I listened to Whitney Cummings' podcast and I convinced myself that I'm a love addict. So maybe you can undo her damage.
Wait, okay. I have a few questions. First of all, I know everything I need to know about you. I know what kind of music you listened to in high school. I know that you probably got into some trouble, but you used to listen to a lot of West Coast gangster rap, but you kind of got through that phase a little bit, and you like smoking blunts, but now you're growing up a little bit. This is the change when I can see people on video. I know your background, but what is the difference between? I'm curious. I'm sure you are too, Natasha. What's the difference between a fuckboy and a love addict? How does a fuckboy act and how does a love addict act?
I have no idea. I guess a love addict would be addicted to like the affection and the intimacy, and maybe a fuck boy would like never let that happen, which I feel like I'm kind of both. So here's just to paint a picture. Going into like these dates, this is the pattern that happens. I'll text, it'll start out with texting, and I'll let them know up front I'm not really trying to be somebody's girlfriend. I still feel like happy being single. I want my singledom. And
oh
then
yeah, the guys must be super bummed to get a text like that from a hot girl. They're like, "Oh no, you don't want commitment? I'm out of here." That's like
and then we'll have a date, and I'll be like my most intimate, open, vulnerable self. And I hear, not to brag, but I hear this a lot. Like, I feel like I've known you for longer than I have. I really like you. I've never said these. Like, I hear a lot of secrets. So I'm being like this open book, vulnerable state. And then after the date, I'm just like, ugh, that's freaky. And I basically like back off. And the cycle repeats.
It sounds like maybe you haven't thought about what you really want. If you do want a partner, it sounds like you want to be single. And maybe you haven't met someone who's really like kind of you've really been taken with.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I'm curious. Wait, what's the part where you go, ich what? Ich, he liked me so much?
Yeah, honestly.
So wait, just so I'm clear, your pattern is that you text a dude, you're like, I'm not really trying to get into anything emotionally serious, and then time after time after time, they go on one date with you. They're like, oh my God, you're so special. I feel like I've known you my whole life. I want to be with you. And you're like, ugh, get me away. This is the pattern you're living in?
Yeah.
Is it possible you're neither a fuckboy nor a love addict, but you're God's gift to men? Is that is that possible?
No, that's not possible at all.
Where are you meeting these dudes?
So I started out on Hinge, and then I realized that seemed like for people who really wanted a relationship. So I moved to Tinder. But it's kind of more of the same thing. You kind of just meet the same people, just in a different platform.
And how often are you doing the old pop
having sex with...
Yeah. How often do you do that with these guys?
As often as I want, which I have a pretty good track record at this point.
No, I mean, I know every man you've ever met falls in love with you. Obviously, you could seduce them if you wanted to. No, I guess what I'm asking is like, I'm a little confused. Are you at all like, I can't quite figure out what you want. Like, you're saying you don't want commitment. You go out, but after one day you're like, ugh. But then how does that make you a fuck boy if you're not fucking these boys, right? I mean, you gotta. Are you?
Oh no, I am having sex with them.
So okay. So you fuck them and then you say ugh.
It's not that I say ugh because I haven't ghosted and I'm not a dick to anybody, but I just like, as soon as I hear that they like me, I freak out.
Oh, okay.
I start sort of backpedaling.
Simone, I have a question. What do you want from a relationship?
I want like my feelings for someone to slap me in the face where I don't have to think about whether or not I like them. I just know.
You're too busy getting slapped in the face with that diak. But not slapped in the heart, right? I mean,
you want to get slapped in the heart.
Yeah, not slapped in the heart.
I want to get hard slapped.
I mean, Simone, I got to tell you, your problem sounds familiar because you're sounding a lot like me right now. This is sounding like exactly my dating life until me and Natasha got serious. Like the whole thing.
Did you get hard slapped?
I mean, what? Honestly, if I'm being totally honest, Natasha did, and I just was down because I wanted a dual income. But no, I think actually, I don't know if you have any thoughts, Tosh, but I think I know what's up here.
Okay.
Well, I was exactly, this was exactly my pattern. I would tell people I'm not really trying to get into anything serious. I would keep chasing this kind of dopamine feeling of what I thought love was, is that love is supposed to be like a drug where you go and you're high and you're like, oh my God, oh, this is undeniable. And then you can kind of, you never have to like look below that. And then the moment that little like, endorphin feeling of what I thought love was supposed to feel like would like wane a little bit, I'd be like, yikes, I got to get the fuck out of here because that is going away. And when that, and like, no, I get heart slapped by Natasha? I mean, obviously, but also I did like tons of work around figuring out what love actually was. Like, I always thought it was like a feeling, and love, I think, isn't really a feeling. It's like it's an action, and it's like a kind of a life thing. Like the book I read, have I talked about I think I have, the Road Less Traveled. It was this like it was this old book from like the 60s about intimacy and love, and it totally changed like the way that I thought about romance and love. And it says like that when we talk about love, a lot of times what we're talking about is lust. But I didn't really like that. I didn't really like that phrasing. But I think what they were talking about is that feeling, that like that high. And
can I ask you a question based on like going off of what you're saying right now? Do you think that lust feeling is important to have in the beginning?
That's a really good question.
Yes. And I think for you, if you just said no a little more, like when someone does something, even in the beginning stages, and you're kind of like, oh, I know that's going to annoy me, like maybe like move on. Don't stay with things. I would just try to say no a little more.
But I that feeling I think it's important, but I think it always goes away 100% of the time. And I was never willing to let it go away because I thought that was the whole thing. I thought that's what love was. So,
but she's talking about the early stages of the relationship. Lust shouldn't be going away like on your fourth date.
No, for sure. All I'm saying is that like once I changed the way that I was like looking at what love or relationships were, then everything started to shift. Like when Natasha and I, because I was like a hoe, but when Natasha and I first started dating, I was like kind of, I mean, I told her, well, I want to wait and see where this goes because I already know what sex with somebody feels like. What I'm trying to figure out is if I can cultivate like a relationship with somebody. So like my first feeling, automatic feeling, is that it's probably not really useful for you to be setting the terms of what you don't want before you've even met a guy. Like that's a defense mechanism, obviously. Oh, I'm not trying to get into anything serious. Like, so just so you know, before I even meet you, like I'm gonna be out. Like you're already saying, like I'm out. I'm out before I'm in.
Yeah, I basically, you're so right. I am. I'm like saying hi and bye at the same time. Yeah, you're very right.
So I mean,
what can she do next time to maybe not do that?
Well, I'm actually curious what you want.
I guess you asking me what I want is like making it clear that I want to be single. Maybe I was living under the delusion that you could be single and have, you know, the romantic life that felt intimate but wasn't. And that's sort of like, I guess, the Sex and the City dream that a lot of people are sold doesn't actually exist. Maybe there is no middle ground where you can have casual, intimate sex and still not be attached. So maybe I just will go celibate until I'm ready to actually date.
Yeah, or maybe there's like one person that you can kind of do that with. Or a couple, I don't know.
Or maybe there's like 15 guys that you can keep hooking up with and keep going to the well. I mean, no, I'm serious. I'm not like even talking shit. Like I like there's nothing wrong with in my opinion with promiscuity. It's just that eventually, if that's not what you want, it will become increasingly unsatisfying, and so you'll keep going to these. You know, I used to describe it as fucking people I wouldn't have lunch with. You know what I'm talking about? Like, and I would be like, damn, why am I like in the most intimate situation I could be with you? I don't even like talking to you. You know what I mean? But I did that a bunch of times until that became kind of tiresome. And then I did this. I would toggle between these unbelievably shallow relationships where I would fuck people that I barely had anything in common with, or I'd have these unbelievably intense situations that I hadn't done any work to actually cultivate a relationship with, so they would just like explode almost immediately and they would never go anywhere. And like I said, I started working on myself. Like a relationship, I don't think is a goal, should be a goal for everybody. But I started working on myself, and I started realizing like, oh, I'm chasing a drug feeling when it comes to relationships, and what I need to be doing is like, like changing myself, kind of getting myself ready. But I hear what you're saying too. You're saying I want to be single, but I don't want my sex to feel transactional. I want it to feel intimate and sweet, but and emotional, but without any of the commitment. And that dude might exist, but it's going to be difficult finding him. You're a lot more likely to find a bunch of trash.
Well,
okay,
yeah. I think that you just, like I said, just say no, like, just a little bit more.
You think that would help?
Yeah, because I think it creates space for yourself. And then you get closer to what you want. If you're always like distracting yourself with people that you're not that interested in, it leaves very little time for, it depends on what kind of person you are, but I need a lot of like self-reflection and time alone.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
I have a suggestion. I just realized you need to find a booty call that is, the sex is like dynamite, but you actually dislike the person. Not that they're disrespectful, but you're like, I do not like talking to you. And you guys have a relationship where that's really clear, like this is never going anywhere. So you can get all your dick needs met, and you can work on getting your heart ready for when it gets slapped or not. You can kind of be like, okay, well, when I need sex, I go fuck that dude, and then in the meantime, I'm doing workshops, I'm reading books, I'm getting my heart ready to get slapped. And then one day that person
You're going to get oh yeah, go ahead.
What?
I was going to say she's going to get heart slapped.
I want you. Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm tempted to say I hope you get heart slapped, but it's like some people just need to chill and not be in a relationship and just like get to know themselves.
And it doesn't mean you have to say you're a love addict or put any sort of negative negative term on yourself.
I love that.
Yeah, Whitney.
Okay, well, good luck, Simone.
I want to say, though, before you go, I love that, Natasha, what you just said. Like, I do think a pattern I hear in callers that call in is everybody's trying to pathologize themselves. Am I a slut or am I a love addict? Am I am I emotionally unavailable? It's like, just like you're just a person, and we're all figuring out what is a very difficult bit of calculus.
A very fucked up world right now. So yeah, be easy on yourself, and good luck.
Good luck. I hope you get
Thank you
that heart
guys so
slap.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
I related to Simone. I really got that. Like, I don't know. For me, it was like a lot of my dating. I know I was talking a lot, but it was because, I mean, I always talk a lot, but it was because I really was like relating to what she was saying. It's like, it was dating for me. I felt like I was so not in control of the way that I thought about love and romance. Like, I just really felt like I was the victim of my own thinking. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And like, reading that book, like I remember one other thing that it said in there that I thought was really intense was like love. So it says that love is that's not what love is. Love is that's what lust is that feeling of endorphins that always goes away, and what you're left with at the end after that dissipates is whether or not you're in love with that person, because love isn't that feeling. Love is the set of actions that you do to, as it described, like putting another person's spiritual well-being ahead of yours, like really caring about that person. And then it said, and this really kind of blew my mind because I was such an emotional coward for such a long time. The minute something intense would happen, I would press the eject button. And the minute my fear was at risk, I would be out. It said love always takes courage and always takes sacrifice. And I had this realization reading that line, like I'd never done anything courageous or emotionally courageous in my dating life, in my life. The second something got intense, I would bounce. And so that was the kind of information that I brought to when we started dating, and it was years before that I started working on it, was like when I get scared in the early stages. I don't know if I ever told you this. In the early stages of our dating life, I would my head would tell me like, this is getting like something's changing. You got to go. You get out of this. And then the tool that I had gained was knowing that was as my old AA sponsor used to say, that was a movie playing in my head, and I could choose not to watch it. Right, I would hear that voice tell me like eject, run, and I would go, oh, that's my fear rat brain talking to me. I don't have to pay any attention to that. And then that would pass, and then it would come again, and I would ignore it again, and then it would pass, and then eventually it went away, and then here I am.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Can we listen to some secrets?
Yeah.
Hi, Moshe and Natasha. I have a secret, and more than anything, I think it would be healthy to kind of get it off my chest. My in-laws are just, they're fine people, but I can't stand them. Oh, it feels good to say that. They're so annoying. They're so fake nice, and you can't joke around with them. Literally, I tried to make a joke to my father-in-law, and he just gave me the coldest look. And it's so unnatural to just hang out with them. I don't know what to do about it. I don't think there's anything to do about it. But I just hope my kid gets his sense of humor from my side of the family. Because Jesus Christ, these people. Anyway, thank you. Have a great day.
You don't feel that way, do you? You love your in-laws, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
That's
a very funny one though, that they have no sense of humor. Like, I want to hear an example.
I know.
Because like that would be
though.
so I could feel it in her voice that like they seem really rough. And also I would suggest have some boundaries about how often you get to hang out with them.
Oh, I'm with you. However much you're going over there, cut it in half.
Yeah, like I think that's totally fine. You know, I think you can say to your spouse, which I've said to Moshe, like you can hang out with your family as much as you want, but for me it's good like once a week. And I told him that.
And I told my mom that. She was very upset. She was really upset.
Once a week I think is pretty generous.
Yeah, that's a lot. No,
How often do you hang out with my mom?
Well, she lives in Illinois.
You probably hung out with her like 10 times your whole life. I hang out with your family once a week.
Anyway, I'm with you. Like, but I was picturing it though. It's like the first time a Jew has dinner at a Protestant's house. You're like, oh, whoa, people are like this? Okay. Okay. Oh, I would love the casserole. And you're like, this is so, okay. Oh, the fruit comes in a dish? Why is nobody screaming? You know, like.
What do they talk about at the table, do you think?
What, these in-laws?
Yeah, like.
Oh, I could just picture it. There's a certain kind of person that's like so stiff it creates like a thick air, you know, and like there's no looseness or fun to the culture of the family. Oh, that's a rough one. Oh, that's a rough one. But I totally agree with you. Grin and bear it. Cut your amount of attendance in half, and never ever talk shit to your husband, even though that's impossible. That seems impossible.
Oh, but use it.
And you could
talk about it with friends, you know.
Start farting at the table with them and just say, "Oh, excuse me." That'll be a private joke for you.
And sometimes it's fun to be around completely humorless people because it's funny.
Yeah, but then knowing that you'll never get them out of your life, that's rough.
Ooh, that sucks.
Should we play another secret?
Yeah.
Hi, Moshe. Hi, Natasha. So here's my secret. I live in America for most of the time, but I'm also Turkish. And I do this fun thing where I will take some boy that I may be flirting with, and I will tell all of my Turkish friends that I am in a serious relationship with them and kind of fabricate these stories. And so all of my Turkish friends think that I have had multiple relationships with men that maybe barely know my name, and then also vice versa.
Okay, that seems very exhausting.
And unnecessary. Why? And
like slightly pathological?
Yeah, what is the gain from that? Your Turkish friends being like, oh, she's such a American wild woman. I don't quite get it. And also,
and if there was a gain, it's kind of bad.
But also, why not? The funny part is that I do relate to this though. Like when you lie, it's harder to lie whole cloth than it is to lie with a strand of truth. Like, you don't need to be telling these Turkish people about a real date you went on, and that you could just be like, yeah, I went on a date with a model from Amsterdam. I mean, you could just make these people up, but instead she's like taking these mediocre guys that she meets in the United States and telling her Turkish friends like, oh, oh, this was great. And then on the other hand, she comes back and she's like, I met a Turkish delight. I met just a lovely Ottoman, and just laid him down over a fez and just made sweet Turkish love. What's the point?
I don't know.
You know what they call that though?
They
call it talking turkey. Let's play another secret.
Okay, so in middle school in 8th grade, I had a crush on this guy, and I created a completely fake online identity, fake Facebook, fake email. I posed as a guy from a middle school far away, and came up with this whole narrative of how I knew people at his middle school, and befriended all these people to build the background. And then I befriended him, and we had an extensive emotional relationship as bros. And finally, after all of this, I asked him if he liked me as his bro, and then he was like, kinda, not really. And it was all for nothing. And now I'm transgender, so I've always been transgender, but it's funny that I did this whole posing as a guy thing, and I'm really gay, so I don't know what any of that was really. Love the show.
Wait, hold on. I want to get to the... Yeah?
I love her. I like...
Him? Her? We don't know what that person's pronouns were.
Well, they were cool.
Yeah, wait. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to figure out the math of it. So they were not out as trans, so living as a female, but posed as a male to befriend a male that then they created a friendship, a bro friendship with, and then asked that person if they liked their real persona, which was a female, and then the guy's like, nah, not really, but maybe that guy was gay, because now I think what they're saying is they came out as trans, so now they're a guy, and so that, I gotta say, I think that was a homosexual love affair. I'm pretty sure.
Well, I think the secret part of it was that they created a fake lure kind of thing. And I just, when they were talking, I realized I did that once.
Did you really?
A long time ago. I remember I thought, when we'd started using computers, I was dating this guy, and Facebook had just come out, and I was like, I wonder if I could catch him with this, if he'll ask this girl to be his friend.
Oh, so, but you stayed a girl.
Well, it wasn't me. It was a fake. It was before Catfish. Was it
But it was a girl in the profile.
Yes.
And did they?
I don't remember. I was trying to I had said that she was all into musical theater. Because I thought that would capture his attention. And I knew he liked redheads.
How weird was the early days of the internet when strangers were talking to each other, for no, that was the bulk of the internet, was just saying hi to a stranger.
Strangers are still talking to each other.
Yeah, I guess, but on dating apps, at least there's an overt I'm interested in dating. This was I'm just a man and you're a person, and do you like Denny's? And then you'd try to meet up, and I would try to meet random. It wasn't even overtly romantic. It'd be do you want to meet up?
I guess I just told a secret on this podcast.
You had a secret. So did the person clicked yes on the friend request?
I think they did, but then, and I don't even know what my end goal was. It all is so stupid and immature.
How old were you?
I don't know, probably 30.
You were 30? No way.
28?
You were
26
a
maybe?
full adult for sure. Really? I'm talking my stuff was 14 when I was talking about the let's meet up.
I don't know.
Wait, you were 30?
No, I was trying to catch the guy I had.
Yeah, no, I didn't ask you about that. I already got that narrative pretty clear.
Maybe I was 25. I don't know.
And you made a fake profile thinking that somehow if that person connected to that guy that
he was cheating. I was trying to prove in my head because I thought he was cheating on me.
Oh, you were with him?
Yeah.
Oh, I misunderstood that.
Yeah.
I see. And what happened?
I don't remember. It was a dumb idea. Or maybe he never even clicked on it and it just died. I think that's probably what happened.
So you were trying to prove that your man was stepping out on you by creating a redheaded musical theater nerd that he would not be able to resist? The Phantom of the Opera is here. He's like, ooh, say it again. Did I ever tell you about the time? I don't know if I ever talked on this podcast about the time we went to see the Phantom of the Opera, and there was this like musical theater dork sitting next to me, literally like hush, like whisper singing the entire musical in my ears, like the Phantom of the Opera inside
What
my
did you
mind.
do?
It was so annoying, like just fucking. It was so. Who would ever want that?
Do you say something? I know you said something. I bet.
I don't know if I said something.
Oh, you know, here's a classic for the theater. It works really well, and everyone does it.
What is it? You say?
You just.
Oh.
It's not rude. It's not like, could you please stop singing?
Okay, so you say. You put your finger. You're telling me.
I'm saying I know
when
it's
someone's
the basic.
making noise, you put your finger up to your lip and you make an sh sound.
No. Here's why, though. I'm saying don't talk to people. Then you get into fights and you ruin everybody's. You know what I mean? Like people are too aggressive.
Right.
Just kindly shush them.
No, I mean honestly, people are aggressive. In fact, at that very show, there was a man. I saw a man at that very show that dropped a chandelier on a whole party. Inside my mind. Should we do another call?
Yeah, I want to see someone else.
Let's see another person.
Now we're gonna call Elena in Redondo Beach.
Oh, Elena?
Yes.
Elena, how's it going?
What's happening?
Hi.
How's Redondo?
It is so nice. The weather is amazing, and I'm grateful to be here.
Beautiful. Oh, you've got a very good spirit. Elena, how can we help? Why did you contact us? What's going on?
Okay. So I'm dating, and dating is hard enough as it is, but I'm successful, and it's been an issue with men in dating.
You're financially
So,
successful?
Yes, financially successful. And I've worked really, really hard to get here, right? I grew up really poor and I was homeless. So to go from that to where I am now, where I have multiple degrees and I have a really, really good job. Now, like when I'm dating, sometimes it's like men are like off put by it, or like my first boyfriend, he was my high school sweetheart. And we were together for a long, long time. And as soon as I started making more money than him, he would get upset. Like he would literally say, oh, that's more than what I make. And I'm like, well, it's fine. You know, it's our money, you know, whatever. And eventually I had to start lying to him because he would get upset each time that I would get a promotion or a raise.
Wait, were you guys married?
No, but we were together for like 10 years.
And you shared your money with him?
I also was confused with it. I was like, damn. This seems like
Moshe and I have separate bank accounts.
I was like, Elena seems like a bit of a catch to me. She's like, hey, it's our money. I'm so successful. Anybody I date, it's half yours.
Well, we were together for over 10 years.
That's fair.
So it was more, we were like common law, whatever. Like we were living together for 8 years.
But don't you still want to have your own account, though?
Yo, what are you talking about right now?
Me?
Yeah, your money's my money.
I like to have my own account.
Wait, Elena, what do you do?
I work in analytics. So I work with numbers and stuff.
Working in analytics over here. Intimidating. Yeah. Well, the problem is obvious. I mean, it's obvious.
Okay.
What do you think?
Well, I mean, she's talking about being a woman, right? And men are emasculated by her. And that's really hard, you know, because when you're a powerful person, a powerful woman, I mean, there are a lot of great men who want a woman who is like kind of beneath them a little bit.
What do you mean great men that want a woman?
I'm just saying great men in the sense that like they are like catches in there, but there's just like
why would they be a catch if they want a woman that's beneath them?
Because they're smart and funny, and you start dating them, and then you realize, oh, that's not one of their like, for example, Moshe, he wants a successful person.
I'm trying to hustle my lady.
He's not really attracted if the girl is like, you know, I would think if she was maybe like living off, you know, like just a stay-at-home mom or something, or she was.
Listen, I'm attracted to stay-at-home moms as much as the next guy. I watch. There's actually a category of video that I watch that's all about stay-at-home moms and how hot they are.
You always get mad if I say I want to stay home. You're like, I like you to be out like doing things and being successful and like. you know.
Oh, if you say you're going to quit the industry and just like, I mean, that's what I'm saying. The problem is obvious. It's not you being too intimidating. It's you dating a bunch of trifling ass dudes that don't like powerful women. Like, honestly, this is my first blush. My first question is like, who are these dudes that you're dating? Like, why are you dating a bunch of dudes that are so threatened by a successful woman? It sounds like just some immature little. I mean,
if you'd let the women talk.
No, hold on. I got this.
I think that you don't understand. It's like it's subtle, Moshe. Right?
Well, like in the first one, we were both in similar fields. I was just better, and like I just got promoted.
I could see that.
It wasn't like he was a loser, but like the second guy I dated, initially he was like, "Wow, this is amazing. I'm like proud to be with somebody who's like this." But then after a year, like there was like resentment, and I can like. He made like less than half what I did, and he wanted to get a new job making more than what I made, and I'm like, why would you choose that? No, and so now, but what's worse now is with COVID, a lot of people have been furloughed. So then there's somebody who I sort of like, I'm into him, but he doesn't even have a job because he's furloughed, but he had a good job.
I'm sorry. Anybody that's threatened by a successful woman is a fucking loser. I mean, that's just like I can't be more blunt than that. Like, you're a fucking complete. Not even on a feminist level. It's like, it's good for you. If your partner is ballin', you get to have ballin' shit. Like
I've had partners that I've been jealous of, and I really hated it. And it was, it's definitely hard. And I think that, being a woman, it's just got different challenges. You want to be open with the man about everything, but resentment can creep in. And then
so how do I weed that out? Because like I thought my ex was fine, but then all of a sudden after a few months, like resentment started growing. So
I think,
how do I deal with
I
that?
think that if the resentment grows, and you can talk about it if you really love him, and if he's not willing, you could just say, listen, one of my non-negotiables in life is to be with someone who is like really excited about my success, and also, I don't know if this is true for you, but also makes their own money. You don't have to say that, but it's important to me to be with someone who makes their own money. Right?
Yeah.
I like that.
Definitely.
So you need to tell him, and if he's not responsive, then you need to move on, because that's one of your non-negotiables.
Yeah, maybe you could say on your dating profile, I'm a strong, independent woman, and I make money. And if that threatens you in any way, you can kick rocks. And
Don't
if
say
you
that on the
if you can't
profile.
handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best, or something like that. I honestly, I just like, it is the lowest instinct on earth to say my partner's success has any reflection on my success. It's a low and pathetic instinct. And like no one's ever having this conversation in the other direction, where there's like a man out there like, I don't know, there's this woman and I'm dating her, I like her, but she makes a little less than me and she can't stand it. It's like no one is having that conversation. It's exclusively a bunch of fucking insecure. I swear, this isn't even like a feminist point. This is just like a grow up point. It's the most insecure loser is like, you got a raise? That bothers me. It's just like, well, that's crazy. It's like, you read a book? I didn't read a book.
And also, a lot of this has to do with people's personalities and attitudes towards themselves and money. So you could be dating someone who's really rich, but is still like, or makes tons of money, but is still doesn't have who's more successful than you, but still
is threatened
by your success.
Totally.
So it's like, it doesn't matter what their income level is either. It's all an outlook in life. And that's like what you really want in a partner, is someone who like shares your outlook.
And cheers for you when you succeed.
Yeah. And so like those are the important things when it comes down to everything else. So
but here's my question though. Elena, so far, this is great. You've got a great rags to riches story. You're a success with multiple degrees, and you're an analytics wizard. The only thing I'm seeing that you're fucking up in is how come you keep finding these dudes that are threatened by your success? There's got to be something up with the people you're picking. There's no way you have a chain. Not every man is that insecure that 5 men in a row are like, I can't help you making more money. Who are these dudes?
Well, I didn't date I never dated until I dated as an adult a few years ago. So I just was, for lack of a better word, like hoeing it up. Just like, if I thought we clicked a little bit, I'd go on a date with them. And So I dated enough men where that was a problem. Like I saw a consistent trend where it was like the security for that place or an Uber driver, because I'm over here like, what if they're the one and I'm just like blowing them off because they just happen to not have a good job.
Elena, you're very smart with analytics and stuff, but I'm not sure you know what a hoe is. She's like, I was hoeing it up. I'd be like, any man I met, I'd be like, I think you're the one. I love you.
No,
that's a
classic
hoe move.
No, she would go on a date with
every
them.
hoe would be like, I love this man.
No, she gave them her valuable money-making time.
I mean, I was just dating a lot. Yeah.
I think that's the thing. Is the thing you have power over is not sexist men that are insecure by women's success, but it's in honing your picker. If you're that smart and you've got all these degrees, you should sharpen your picker because you're smart enough for that too.
I have a way that you can sharpen it is just being very direct with people. I think that's like one thing I like about seeing more women in the forefront, like just seeing women speaking to men in, you know, a sort of dominating way. Like even just watching the vice presidential debates and seeing Kamala Harris talk to talk to Mike Pence. It's like, I don't know. It's like, just imagine yourself to be someone who's going to get what you want. And sometimes you have to be really blunt and just talk to people and ask them what they think and what you're willing to stand for and what you're not.
Yeah.
And I think you feel good and weed people out a little bit.
But also,
and whatever your way of doing that is, just being really honest with yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's
what do you think, Elena? Are we nailing it? Are we getting close?
Yeah. No, I feel like everything what you're saying is totally resonating and it totally makes sense. I just didn't want to make it. I think I was going in a certain direction where I felt like I was being like elitist, where I was like, no, well, you have to like be at this level or make this much, because I just didn't want to deal with the male ego, like that fragile male ego.
But that's what
anymore.
I'm saying. I'm saying the problem is not that you're not dating rich enough men. The problem is that you're dating men who are not rich enough emotionally to celebrate your successes. Like they could be broke as hell and be like, this is great. I got this powerful, successful girlfriend and I'm working on my passion even though it doesn't make me any money. I mean, honestly, to me, it sounds like you're dating a bunch of trifling ass dudes. And it's like, maybe here's a theory, because I grew up super impoverished too, you know. I grew up poor as fuck, and the transformation as you become working towards success, it isn't always like you've worked a lot on education, but maybe you're still dating dudes that are not financially beneath you, but just emotionally beneath you. Like maybe that is maybe something that you haven't gotten your master's degree in emotional maturity yet. Like maybe you need to hone that weapon and like make your emotional the people you're picking raise up to the level of the jobs that you're picking. And I don't mean that like an elitist, like you got to go find rich guys. I mean like you know, finding people that are your equals in every way, not just financially but like emotionally too.
Yeah
All right, Elena, well, good luck.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Well, I mean, anybody would be lucky to have you. In fact, if you could leave your phone number just in case this doesn't work out. I'm not threatened by a successful woman. All right. Bye, Elena.
Obviously.
Bye.
All right. Bye. Thank you.
I really do think that is just the lowest. One of the best things about our relationship is that we're both successful. And like, I don't know. I used to hate dating people where I'd be like, I guess I'll be paying for everything from now on. All of it? All of your food? I have to feed you?
Well, but that's not exactly fair, because what if a woman is like spending all of her energy with kids?
Well, that was not usually what was happening in the beginning of my dating with them.
No, I know, but I'm saying if you're in a partnership and...
Well, that's totally different though. You can, if you're with, I'm not saying the person has to be financially successful. I'm just saying like when you first start dating someone, they should have goals, and for me anyway, they should have goals and dreams and be working towards something. Now, if at some point in the future you both go like, okay, now we're going to renegotiate because we want to have a family and our things are different, that's fine. But it's just like that instinct is just like stomach churning to me, that your girlfriend gets a raise and you're like...
But here's the thing. Sometimes it happens because the man gets afraid that he's intimidated by your success because he's afraid you'll leave them.
That's pathetic and
I know,
sad.
but I'm just saying it's like, it's not just because, it's not so black and white. There's so many different reasons why that kind of that resentment can creep in.
How come it doesn't work the other way?
With a woman?
I'm just saying, I'm not saying no woman's ever been resentful at their man.
I remember when I first moved to Hollywood, the guy I was dating had an agent, and I was like so jealous that he had an agent.
And was that, you'd think, probably a pretty healthy instinct?
No, but I'm just saying, like, it happened to me, and like it was a bad relationship. You know what I mean?
Maybe I just don't relate to it, because when I was like a touring comedian, I always used to think like, what would be perfect to date is like a really busy doctor who can like pay all the bills and not mind that I'm on the road all the time. But like, I love that you're successful. There's nothing about your success that's threatening to me. And it's not because I'm an enlightened man. It's because I'm not a fucking child.
Well, Moshe, you know what? That's why I love you.
Whoa, you love me? Well, damn, I love you too.